Hi, my name is Shannon Decker. I'm with an organization called the Speedy Foundation. We are a small nonprofit focused on suicide prevention and mental health awareness. We have contracted with Nevada County Public Health to bring the No Overdose Nevada County campaign over to the Truckee Tahoe region. And so I have a brief overview of what this campaign entails. Let's take a look. The goals of No Overdose are to prevent deaths from drug overdoses, specifically opioid overdoses, to keep people safer when they are using drugs, and to connect people who use drugs and their support networks to the resources and information that are available. We use a harm reduction approach in the work that we do. We're going to look a little bit closer at harm reduction. It is a system that believes in judgment free zones, respecting people's decision, and using realism and empathy in our approach. This set of strategies encourages people to make the safest and healthiest choices that they can based on their circumstances. We can think about people who use drugs in this entire spectrum, right? We have people who take drugs as prescribed by their healthcare provider. We have young people who maybe are just learning how to experiment and push boundaries, and they might take something that unknowingly has been contaminated or might be a counterfeit product. We have other individuals who use recreationally. We have people who misuse or perhaps are addicted and use illicit drugs in large quantities. We have this entire spectrum, but the approach that we can take is this harm reduction approach and understand people for who they are, where they're at, and not the drugs that they're using. We already use harm reduction in other areas of life. We've got some images here. We've got seatbelts because when cars first came out, they didn't have seatbelts and people were losing their lives in automobile accidents. But once we installed seatbelts, we were able to reduce harm to people in automobile accidents. We use sunscreen to protect against sunburns as well as skin cancer. We use condoms to protect against STIs as well as unplanned pregnancies. And there's a lot of other ones. We use gun locks, we use hand sanitizer. Our society uses harm reduction all over the place. When it comes to drug use, there's a lot of stigma that's out there. And so this is oftentimes a new approach for folks. I know that when I personally grew up, we had an ad campaign that was a man standing in a kitchen and he was frying an egg, and the egg hits the pan and he says, "This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?" There were a lot of questions, but that didn't create an environment where we could talk openly about things and really try to understand what harm might be out there. So, who is coming on board with us? We have some amazing partners. This is a list of the folks who have come on board since we launched in the month of April. We're always looking for educational institutions, businesses, nonprofits, healthcare providers, community coalitions, mental health organizations, and youth servicing organizations. So if you're interested, if you represent an organization or you're part of an organization that wants to come on board, please reach out. This is not a situation that is unique to our community necessarily. Why no overdose? It's because communities like ours and towns all across Nevada County have seen a rise in overdose deaths in the past few years. It's largely a result of synthetic opioids, specifically fentanyl, that have entered our local drug supply. So we're going to look at a little bit of data. This is the national impact that we've seen over the years. And anytime that we talk about data, I just want to take pause to recognize that each data point is a person. This is a person who has died as a result of opioids. In 2021, we lost 106,699 of our citizens to drug involved overdose deaths. This is the first time in our country where the deaths have eclipsed 100,000 in a single year. And these drug involved overdose deaths are the leading cause of death for individuals age 18 to 45 at this point. So, if you can see the opioid crisis that has evolved over time, it has increased at a pretty steady rate. That is until about 2016, 2017, when fentanyl really started to hit the market. And we can see that when COVID happened and we had lockdowns, we see an even larger spike in that synthetic opioid like fentanyl. Here in California, the trend is the same. We increased greatly when fentanyl hit the market, and especially as COVID set in. And when we're looking at Nevada County numbers, we really started to see fentanyl hitting the market and hitting our population in 2020. So, out of the 18 accidental overdose deaths in 2019, none of those involved fentanyl. However, we had 37 accidental overdose in Nevada County, and that is residents as well as residents that died in the county, as well as residents who died outside of the county. Um, so out of those 37, 19 involved fentanyl, over half. In 2021, we had 44 accidental overdose deaths, and 17 of those involved fentanyl. In 2022, 34 accidental overdoses and 17 involved fentanyl. So we can see that the decrease is happening. We also know that we have increased Narcan distribution. There have been several Narcan reversals of overdoses that have saved lives. So it's very encouraging to see those numbers starting to come down. Um, as we see, we do have state and nation increases. And as far as our 2020 to 2021 numbers in Nevada County, that faint green line, it gives us hope. We're seeing a decrease, and we know that that is due to the availability and the distribution of Narcan, which is a life saving drug. Improving access and information to resources like Narcan can save lives. It does save lives, and it has saved lives. You can find more information about this at our website, nooverdosенc.com. This is where you can find out where to access Narcan and fentanyl testing strips. You can obtain our campaign materials, our social media, and find more about the non judgmental, non stigmatizing language approach that we use called harm reduction. So, this is what our website looks like. It's a one stop shop, one place to find the resources where you can participate in this campaign. The resources that we have available in Truckee, Tahoe come from public health, from the Speedy Foundation, from the Tahoe Forest Health System, from Gateway Mountain Center, and then the Yuba Harm Reduction Collective is on the other side of the county. But that would be the one place where we could find harm reduction supplies, such as paraphernalia, if that's something that you're looking for. But again, when you scan that resource, it'll take you to a list of all the resources that are available for Nevada County. Our hope is to access Narcan across all businesses, all public areas, as well as getting it into the first aid kits for people within their homes. We want to make sure that it's easy to use and easy to understand and easy to obtain. So go to nooverdosенc.com to learn more about where to access Narcan. That's also where you can download campaign materials or you can request them. We've got flyers, we've got cards, we have instructions on how maybe you could become a distributor. Maybe your organization would be able to distribute Narcan. We're always happy to help people get that set up. We have social media. You can follow the Speedy Foundation. You can follow Nevada County Public Health. You can follow any of our other partners to follow along and repost and reshare this social media campaign. We provide trainings. So at thespeedyfoundation.org/Truckee, we have a recorded e-learning for overdose education. We can also provide it live in person or via Zoom. At this point, we've got some awesome partners who've become trained with the Truckee Tahoe Unified School District and a couple of the other private and charter schools, the Truckee Police Department, Homeless Services, Nordic Search and Rescue, the library, but we're looking to train more. So if you have an organization that would like to be trained, please reach out. You can support us. You can help us with this campaign by becoming a public supporter of the campaign and officially signing on, sharing information and resources with your networks and your spheres of influence. You might become a Narcan distributor. You might become trained on how to administer Narcan or to use fentanyl testing strips. Or you might have another idea. Maybe you have an event that's coming up and you would like for us to come out and table that event. We'd be happy to do that. Please reach out. You're welcome to reach out to us on our website or nooverdosенc@gmail.com, or reach out to me personally, Shannon at thespeedyfoundation.org. You can visit thespeedyfoundation.org slash Truckee, or you can reach me at our Google phone number, 208-471-8904. Thank you so much for learning more about No Overdose Nevada County. Hope to see you around.